Hey David, how are you?
Oh, I think I was muted too. How we doing?
Hey, good. How's everything going?
Good, man. Can't complain.
Good. So I just kind of wanted to get out in front of it and just ask you about, Cole Popovich, just sort of, you worked with him before, just sort of your reaction when you heard that he wouldn't be returning and just, sort of how did you find out and just your thoughts on what's going on with the coaching staff, the offensive linemen.
I know Bill kind of addressed that earlier. I appreciate Cole and, always will love Cole and as he was a great coach and, but I know Bill kind of addressed the situation and, you know, it kind of is what it is. And, I'm just focusing on what we can do in training camp here, and, the hand we're dealt right now.
In terms of, I mean, I feel like a big news story right now leading into camp has been, vaccinated, unvaccinated, and all that. Just in terms of how the players have been approaching it in Foxborough, how have the players been approaching that in Foxborough, and how do you guys stay together when there are obviously differing opinions on such a hot topic?
I think we're all grown men. We all can make decisions for ourselves. We all have to make decisions what's best for us, our family, and then also the team. And so, it's okay to have different opinions. I think that's what makes this world all right. Sometimes you can have different opinions and still respect one another. We're all here to accomplish the same goal. So at the end of the day, we put all that stuff beside us. You know, started today. And then obviously we'll start tomorrow once we get on the field. That's really what matters. All the other stuff just kind of maybe distractions.
Awesome. Thank you, David. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Next question, Evan Lazar, followed by Ben Volen.
Hey David, how's it going?
Good, Evan. How are you?
I'm well, thanks. Just along those lines, what can you tell us about Coach Brasillo and your experience with him, and do you feel comfortable with him kind of running the room by himself this year?
Look, I feel comfortable. Doesn't matter who it is. I've had three O-line coaches, now four in my career. So we've got a great group. We're going to come to work no matter who's in the room. That's just part of it. So we're all professionals. We're all here to work, and at the end of the day, like I said, we're all here to accomplish the same goal that 32 other teams are trying to, or 31 other teams are trying to go after right now. So, really just focused on what we have to do, personally, and then as a unit, to be the best we can be.
And what's Coach Priscilla like? Just what is his characteristics as a coach, and what does he like to work with?
I mean, I think he's a great coach. He's a good guy. I mean, I'm not a psychiatrist or anything, so you might want to just ask him how he feels, what he's like.
Fair enough. Thanks, David.
Yeah, man.
Next question, Ben Volen, followed by Phil Perry.
Hey, David. Welcome back to the season. I have a couple quick ones, if you don't mind. First, a football question. You're back, obviously. Yeah, you're back, and then Ted Karras is back. What's it like having Ted back? And he played every snap at center last year for the Dolphins. Do you feel like you guys are in kind of a pure competition for that job right now?
It's always great having Ted back. Been able to work with him a lot over the last 4 or 5 years, and then obviously last year was what it was. So I think we're all in competition, right? I mean, we're all here to try to get better. Nobody's job safe. We're all here to work and be the best we can be. We're all here to push each other. It's our job to each push each other to make that person the better, because that's what's going to help the team at the end of the day. Not necessarily, just looking out for yourself.
And then I did want to ask another COVID-related question. It seems like the NFL is requiring you guys to wear like different wristbands or something depending on your vaccination status. Just what do you think of that, and are you worried it could drive the team apart at all?
Like I said, look, it is what it is at the end of the day. Yeah, I think everyone has jobs where maybe they don't agree with something or don't like something, but it just kind of is what it is. And, you can't sit there and dwell on that. Our job is to come in here and work and try to be the best football team we can be. There's going to be a lot more distractions throughout the year, and different things like that. Best thing we can do is just try to come in each day, put in the work, and let that other stuff, kind of just go to the wayside for right now and just focus on what we need to do.
Great. Thanks a lot, man.
Next question, Phil Perry, followed by Chris Ryan.
Hey, David, how's it going, man?
Good. How are you?
Good. I'm wondering because it sounds like the scheduling in terms of when you guys can actually start wearing pads is a little bit different. We're used to seeing you guys maybe, after a couple of days of shorts and t-shirts kind of hitting each other a little bit. So as an offensive lineman, what's your reaction to the fact that you might have to wait until next week to actually be able to hit some people? How hard is it? Is it hard for guys in your position to be able to maximize your time out there when the limitations are what they are in terms of contact?
Man, that's kind of news to me, I guess. I didn't know that was a new thing or anything. Look, I don't really look ahead. I don't know. I don't try to predict when an off day is going to be. I don't try to predict when we're going to be in pads, what our schedule is going to be. You just try to show up each day, focus on that day, and that's really it. I don't think in looking ahead. I think you got to do what best with what's given to you. I think sometimes playing the game as an O lineman is tough when you're not in pads. I do believe there's a benefit in being in pads at times, and I don't know how to say if it's good or bad. But I think as an O lineman, there's times where you definitely would rather be in pads to get the feel. It's kind of hard to do your job not in pads, I think, at times. But like I said, you have to do what's the hand that's dealt with you and make the most out of it, and that's what we're going to try to do each day.
Full disclosure, I don't know what the schedule is either, David, but that's what Bill told us this morning. It sounded like it'd be several days, I think is what he said before you guys are in pads. So take that.
Several days, then we'll just
here you go.
Put them on when we put them on, I guess.
Thanks, David.
Chris Ryan's next, followed by Andrew Callahan.
Hey, David. Hope all is well with you. There's been a lot of talk about how good this team could be on paper. Is there a time during training camp where you can get a sense for how good the team actually is, or is that something that has to be determined through the course of the season?
I mean, I think you can kind of start to identify maybe some of your strengths and weaknesses as a team at times. But I think it's something that it doesn't really matter too. If you guys are the best team in training camp, well, that's good for you, but it's really going to matter, week 8, 10, 11, 12, whatever. And there's been years we've started off really strong and haven't finished the year great. There's been years where we've, kind of been up and down throughout the year and then, turned it on for the last 6 games. So I think it's just to really continue to get better each week. I think that's the biggest thing, no matter what, you never want to plateau during the season. So if you hit your best football in training camp, it's probably going to be a long year, I would assume, but just try to get better each week, man. Paper is paper. What matters is the product we put out there.
Next question, Andrew Callahan, followed by Maury Hirschgarten.
Hey, David, it's good to see you, man. Can't confirm what Phil was saying about Bill saying there's no pads basically until next week. So, no predictions needed this year. But in that time, I know the focus is on fundamentals because Bill described it almost as an extension of mini camp. So there's a learning period. But what can you learn about your team in these few days beyond everyone wants to get better individually? Do you get a sense of the personality of the team, or what can you learn in the first kind of few days of camp? Because it's a unique time as much as you're always trying to get better, which is true of every day, of every week, of every month.
Yeah, I mean, I think you definitely can learn some things about your team during training camp, but, to say you're going to be this and that, I think is kind of, who knows. But, yeah, I mean, I think in training camp is where you build the team camaraderie, right? Like, that's what you kind of, all right, this is what we want to be about. This is, the team we want to be. This is where you get to know guys because you're spending, 12 hours a day with each other. This is where you get to know the guys. It's things like that. Maybe if you want to talk about team building, things like that. But you also build trust in each other with guys you maybe haven't, practiced against or practiced with that much. Obviously a little bit more limited in the OTA type than we are now. So you build that trust in each other and have them build, their trust in you right now. And, that way you can really, move forward and be confident that the guy next to you is going to do what he's supposed to do. And he's confident that you're going to do what you're supposed to do.
Specific to the new guys, because I know there's turnover every year, but I just say with the influx of free agents, it's a little bit more high profile, the faces that have come in and made this a different team this year. Do you do anything as a captain and a leader on this team who's been around to kind of, like you were talking about, build that trust with some of the new guys? Any things you might be doing differently this year off the field or in the building?
Oh, I mean, I think I look at when I came in, right, and call it a new guy, even though I was a rookie. And there was guys that had a standard that was set, right, and they abided by that standard that was set probably before them. And that's something I still believe in and try to install into our rookies and our new guys. Obviously Trent, kind of Pseudo, new guy, but he's been around here. He understands that standard. I think it's just how we carry ourselves, how we try to work. I mean, it's not like a big rah-rah or, things like that. So, hopefully, obviously maybe out of the field, things are a little bit different because of COVID and things. So, a little bit more freedom, I guess, to say some extent, I guess. But yeah, so I mean, I think there's just a standard that's been set long before I was here, and I still believe in that standard and try to show what that standard means.
Thanks, David.
Yeah.
Next question, Maury Hirsch-Gordon, followed by Mike Reese.
Hey, David, hope you're doing well. When there's multiple quarterbacks sort of, vying for that starting job, how do you build relationships to make sure that, it's consistent with both of them? And is there an added level of preparation or responsibility as you're trying to go through that?
No, I mean, I've had relationships with all my quarterbacks that have been here because I think that's super important. When Jimmy was here, I had a great relationship with Jimmy. Now I've got a great relationship with all the quarterbacks. Jacoby, I had a great relationship with him, still talk to him. I mean, it's just, I've always tried to build a relationship with whatever quarterbacks we have because we're going to work together at some point. I don't ever exclusively work with one quarterback. It's just like there's going to be different guards playing beside me and different centers playing next to Shaq Mason at times. So you try to build that rapport with everybody because obviously, guys are going to get injured and there's going to be changes at times. And so you don't want to have to figure that out in a week's time or a couple of days' time, whatever it may be. So always try to build that rapport with your teammates, especially guys like the quarterbacks where, can be an intimate relationship at times, I guess.
Evan McCourty is waiting, so we're going to make Mike Reese the last question. Go ahead, Mike.
All right. We'll end it on a high note. I hope Devin likes the question. How's Mackenzie?
She's doing good. We're about 4 days out from the due date, so we'll see. We will see.
Good luck with it.
Thank you.
Good luck with it. And on that light note, iconic brands. Do you feel like you're representing all the big, handsome, fashionable offensive linemen in getting your new marketing deal?
We'll see. I think it's a company that I've known, and they're kind of based in Georgia and out of Atlanta, so it's something that I've thought about and kind of gone back and forth with, and so I'm gonna make some T-shirts and kind of have a mix of my Massachusetts roots now and my Georgia roots and the Georgia Bulldogs, which mean a lot to me. So we'll see here coming soon.
Good luck with it, David. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. See y'all at practice.
Thank you, David. Thanks, everyone.